Welcome to Extra Takes, hosted by Northland Church Senior Pastor, Dr. Joshua Laxton. Join us each week as Pastor Josh reveals the rest of the story behind his sermons. We'll discuss how those who follow Christ can live out a biblical vision for the church in our world today.
Well, hello, Northland family and friends. Hey, welcome to another episode of Extra Takes. Hey, I'm your co-host, PJ, along with Matt, the preaching machine, Shiles.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes.
That'd be great for you to announce me.
Next
time I walk out. Yeah.
That's cool. I could.
Like
and I had to do that given the fact that it is our A&E series, and
yeah, you could have been
doing a lot of boxing movies, which I didn't necessarily mean to do it, but there's so many good sports.
You did.
There's so many good sports movies out there. Like Moneyball is a great.
Oh, I love Moneyball.
Sports movie. A League of Their Own, Sandlot, Rudy. Cool Runnings,
yep.
Glory Road,
yep.
Remember the Titans. I mean, there's...
So what are your top three sports movies?
The top three... I mean, Cinderella Man is definitely...
See, I've never seen it.
You still haven't seen Cinderella Man?
No, I haven't seen it. I'm going to after this weekend.
We shut down this podcast.
Bye. We're going to go.
I can't believe you didn't see it.
I was out this past week.
Oh, I don't want to blame you. That's just excuses. So, I mean, you that's just excuses. But, yeah. So, Cinderella Man,
I understand the quote now about milk. Because I heard that quote, so I understand.
That.
I saw I've seen 20% of it now. All those clips we showed.
Well, you saw the arc at least. He wins.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it's spoiler. I wanted to look away.
Wins. Cool Run is probably...
Okay.
I really like that. Rocky. Rocky 4.
Yeah.
Which is why I did it.
I like Drago.
So, yeah.
I've got top two. Rudy and Remember the Titans.
Rudy, huh? Yeah, here's the thing. I mean, here's the guy. I'll just say this.
Don't burst my bubble.
I'm going to bust it right now. If I was doing a message on Rudy,
okay,
there's a part of me that has to just talk about idolatry.
Oh, okay.
Because he just won't get at the end of the day, it's not even about I gotta play for Notre Dame. Now here's the thing: he did not give he has a heart.
Yeah,
but
perseverance.
It's kind of almost like idolatrous.
Yeah. Him and his family. Yeah. Their whole view of Notre Dame, and I could see that.
So, I mean, again, it's great. I mean, obviously, it's a true story.
Yeah.
He got to play the one play, But I mean, here's
tears.
I know. So that's why it's a great movie, but it's not in the top 5 for me. Probably not even in the top 10. Because I feel like you're not a football player.
He was. He played.
But you're not a football player that can play at a Division I school.
Now that I'm highly offended.
Team.
Yeah, I'm highly offended. I don't know how we're going to get past this.
Wrong if you want to, but all
right. So
Rudy, if you listen, I don't know is he still living?
I mean, he's not going to be listening to this. My mom will be, and she'll be very offended.
Very offended.
But Rudy will not be listening.
Yeah. So.
I do have a question to kick us off. If you had to choose, would you have been a boxer or a hockey player?
Ooh, almost the same thing, huh?
A little bit. And maybe which one do you think you could have excelled at more?
I probably just ice hockey, low center of gravity. You're not really taking shots on the chin per se.
Sure, yeah.
But it is a sport that I think you got to have like Jedi reflexes. I mean, I've seen the Solar Bears play. I remember growing up in Memphis, there was the River Kings.
Okay, yeah.
I think they were AAA.
Yeah.
I mean, it just happens it's fast. It is a fast game.
And they're skating the whole time. Just skating's hard.
Which, to them, it's probably second nature.
It's second nature, right?
But to you and me, we're like, I don't even know how you do it.
See, I would probably choose hockey, and I would choose goalie, just because I was goalie in lacrosse, so I feel like... team sport, I could understand a little more. Boxing, I would just feel so out of my league.
You're out there by yourself.
Yeah.
And you getting hit.
That's not me.
I'm afraid I would lose my stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you got hit and you get frustrated, which you can't get frustrated. That's one of the things I learned about at least boxing, and you cannot box out of anger.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then even UFC type stuff. Like,
Yeah.
no, it is poised. It's controlled. It's
Yeah.
I mean,
Interesting.
because that's a weakness.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, that's street fighting.
So Josh, the ice hockey player,
Yeah.
because of the low center of gravity. I like that answer.
Center of gravity.
Well, we're having fun today because we are in our arts and entertainment series, Forged in the Fight. So we were all looking at Miracle this week around unity and Cinderella Man around living hope. This was July 11th through 13th in 2026. I loved how you framed this series, this idea of helping Christians, helping us think about and process how we ought to think biblically and Christianly about various areas of our culture. And you said your heart is not to be cool, not to be trendy. Your heart is to help you think as Christians in this world. And I loved how you said a series like this gives us a peek into your mind. I'm like, oh boy, peek into your mind of how you. So here's a question: Can you turn it off, or is it this like you're watching a movie with Joni and you're just always thinking about?
I think I might incorporate this. I think, and if not, then you get it. At least through the podcast. It is hard to turn off, but I actually was writing this morning in terms, because somebody actually came up to me and said, how do you decide or discern what movies and series to watch?
Sure.
So this goes back to cultural engagement and this idea of Genesis 1:28 telling us to subdue the ground or the raw materials and to make something of the world. Is that we are called as human beings to create culture. We're going to consume it then, and then because of a fallen world, we're either going to critique it or condemn it. Okay? So then there are actually three ways to, in some sense, filter a movie or a show or even music. You filter it through sin and depravity, because as believers, we ought to be able to call it, oh, that's sin and that's depraved, kind of meaning devoid of God. It's just there's this depravity to it, darkness to it. Then common grace, and then when we see something that is common grace. Now, common grace could be elements of the Imago Dei, that, hey, there's goodness to that hey, that was teaching some kind of virtue.
Sure, yeah.
Maybe there is a character development in a movie. You're like, man, that person wrote that development of that character really in a great way. I mean, that is common grace. Good storytelling, that is common grace. But then the third way is special grace. Is how we interpret common grace elements that actually show the deeper meaning behind what is good. That's actually what we're doing in the series. Because even though I do think that there was obviously a faith component to James J. Braddock, I mean, church, actually, there's a church scene a couple of times throughout the movie. So he was Catholic, but I would say that what you see in his storyline is obviously common grace elements. But what I did and what I'm showing you is I'm saying, hey, that is a common grace element, which is why it tugs at our heart. But here's the special grace part of it.
Right.
This is where we actually find it. Okay.
Right.
So then, how do you determine what to watch? Okay, so that's how you would watch it. You're gonna watch it and you're gonna go, man, that's sin. Hey, that's a common grace element. That's why I'm kind of drawn to it. I'm drawn to the storytelling. I'm drawn to the character development. I'm drawn to that inspirational moment. I'm drawn, like, and then the special grace is, well, I know now what the Bible teaches that can actually line up the common grace to tell me where that actually comes from.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how to determine what not to watch. Okay, so here's where I am. Maybe I changed it over the years, maybe not, don't know. But I actually believe that the law of liberty, because this is where the gray areas of life really come into play. I mean, the Bible doesn't say you can't watch this, but you can watch this. So this is where I'm like, the law of liberty, I believe, opens the doors pretty wide as to what you can watch and what you can listen to. I actually believe that. But then here's some like principles with that. One, if it's videos or music or movies that are created for the sole purpose of sinful indulgence, and that would be a sin to watch, okay, or a sinful to listen to. So this is where pornography would come in. Obviously, they're created to indulge in sinful behavior, lust. Like, okay, we're going to say no, absolutely not. We're not going to, like, it was created for sinful indulgences for the activity of sin. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. Then two, if it makes then if something wasn't necessarily created for sinful indulgences, but it makes you lust or long for sin, turn it off.
Yeah, that's good.
So I will say, I won't tell you what series it was. It was a TV series years ago. It did not make me lust for sin. And again, sin could be pride. Sin could be like sexual lust. It could be all of those things too. But what I actually found is I was being entertained for sinful behavior. It was a comedic TV series around sin, and actually found myself being entertained by it. And I said, that's not of the Lord, and I'm not going to watch this anymore. Yeah. So that fits into that category. So if it makes me lust or long for sin, I'll turn it off. If it begins to influence me in bad ways, I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to stop listening to it. So here's the thing. If there's a TV series that, man, it's just a lot of cussing in it, and it leads to you doing a lot of cussing, then you probably ought to turn it off. Now, if it has a lot of cussing in it and it doesn't affect you any, okay. Like, I believe that's a law of liberty.
That's a great example.
If the Spirit of God convicts me, I'll turn it off. Because this is part of where we live by the Spirit of God directing us and guiding us. So if you're watching something and there's just a check in your spirit, I ought to not watch this. Turn it off. I forget which movie it was. I was trying to find something on Netflix. Yeah. And I was watching it, and I'm like, it was 10 minutes into it, and I'm like, I just don't get a good fit. I'm just going to turn it off. It wasn't that it was even like, I don't like where this is going. Yeah. And so I'm going to turn it off. Yeah. And then here's the thing: if I watch it could be a TV series, a movies, listening to music, then I'm going to watch it. I'm going to listen to it with those three categories in mind. I'm going to be able to name sin, because that's one of the things that I actually love to do. Yeah. And that's sin, man. Like that. Like, don't need to be doing that. Yeah. And then, hey, that's common grace, which is, again, what I'm doing in this particular series. That's common grace elements, but then I'm converting it into special grace. Like, where do I really find the power to endure? Yeah. Where do I really find where my identity is? Okay, so that's how I would engage with arts and entertainment.
Yeah, that's so helpful. We find ourselves, my girls are getting at the age where we can do that. We can call out, sin as we're watching things, and we can just kind of ask them questions, and they can start the discernment process. And yeah, Kaylee and I mean, a couple things I wrote down as you were talking, violence, sex, and vulgarity, and then language. Those are all things that would kind of lead us to. We have this 5-minute rule. A lot of times we'll watch a movie, and pretty close into the movie, you can tell what the movie's going to be about, and it's just kind of like for any reason, nope, we're out. Yeah, we're going to stop it. And a pretty classic example of this is comedy specials. Okay. I mean, you can tell from typically the first joke what they're going to be about. If they're going to be vulgar, if they're going to be they're going to be clean. First joke, that's kind of the rule. Once that hits, then you can. But I really like this idea of depravity, naming sin, common grace, special grace, and allowing us to have this filter. Yeah. And then I mean, obviously we watch things individually, but then we also watch things communally. So this is a great thing that we can do with our families as well. And our families can help us discern some of this as well. Yeah. So that's great. Thanks for digging into that for us. How would you describe this sermon? I'll give you 2 words this time since we kind of broke it into. It was kind of.
Yeah, it would be unity and hope.
And hope. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to get something else out of you, but all right. Unity and hope. Good.
Yeah. Well, because
What?
the next week is perseverance and identity.
Oh, you just ruined it for me.
So, because I knew you were thinking about perseverance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't even
No.
ask that question next week. Perseverance, because you already ruined it.
Wait. Well, perseverance is next week.
Okay. Perseverance and what was the second one?
Identity.
And that's on.
So Rocky 4 and Creed 2.
Oh, and Creed 2. Okay.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it is that it's obviously if you've seen the movies, it's obvious. There's a similar storyline. Rocky faces Ivan Drago.
Right.
Creed 2, I mean, obviously takes place decades later. It's Ivan Drago's son, Victor,
Yes.
that faces off against Apollo Creed's son.
Yeah.
But even though there's a similar storyline, there are 2 distinct themes in it.
Interesting.
And that's why I wanted to do it, is because there were similar storylines, but I want to show you a different kind of theme that each movie gets to.
Awesome. I have seen those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just have one to watch.
Okay.
All right. So any big takeaways from this week as you were putting this together?
It's harder to condense it down than what I thought. I mean, it was hard to just condense. I mean, there are so many clips. There's so many points. And I'm like, I still want to kind of maintain kind of some kind of an arc.
Yeah.
Kind of to it, as because again, I can take clips all day long and in some sense spiritualize them.
Right. Yeah.
There were so many. It really is my favorite clip of Miracle, maybe because I look at it from a leadership standpoint, where Walter comes out to Herb and says, "Hey Herb, what are you doing, man? Like, we got a whole week of this. Like, we put a lot of work in to get all of these players here to have tryouts for a week, and no, we've only been." And Herb's like, well, that's just not going to happen, Walter. And I love how he says it. He's like, you hired me to do a job, I'm doing it. And he knows the players.
And he already did the backstory, and he gave examples. Yeah, I love that.
But there's a part there. Herb would have never been successful if he didn't have Walter as a champion. Because Walter was the champion at the very beginning,
right?
And then Walter's like, "Okay, I'm gonna back you on this, Herb." If he didn't back him, Herb could have been in big trouble. So this goes back to even our breakthrough series of where you need a champion and a catalyst. If you're going to achieve something and experience breakthrough, you've got to have a champion and a catalyst. Walter was that. So I would love to have done that, but again, we would have been here all day.
Yeah. How did you choose the movies?
It was so hard because I actually had Remember the Titans earlier on, and I had something else, and I'm just like, to be honest, I mean, I've been watching a lot of sports movies over the last several months just because I'm like, man, I've got to tailor this down. Yeah. And I think... because Remember the Titans about unity too, and a true story. I mean, there's just so many movies, and I'm like, but Miracle, let's just do Miracle. Yeah. And Cinderella again, Cinderella Man, one of my favorite. I'll just turn it on, and then I've always wanted to do Rocky.
Have you?
So that's kind of how. But it was hard. I mean, it really was hard. Yeah. To go. How do you pick? And I know it's a little. I say a little bit. It might be a lot to do 2 movies a week, but. I mean, if I just did one, I mean, sure, could I expound on it? But that's not what the series is just try to show you how to watch movies. Yes. And just to kind of keep it moving.
It feels like TED Talks again. So we've kind of been in that rhythm, and that's how it felt again.
Yeah. And I am starting to understand my own schedule too in the summer, that you do get the 4th, and my family, particularly Joni, she works during the year, and I want to also take some time off, and so you got 4th of July, I'm going to be taking off the end of this month, and so eventually, if I can train other people to do what I'm doing, then we can do a longer series and just do,
Sure.
whether it's 4 songs. Like I'm thinking about doing art one year. Like let's look at pieces of art. I mean,
Sure.
it's still arts and entertainment.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a good rhythm, but that's where I'm like, hey, like their TED series in sports really was 2 weeks. The third week, I was actually planning to take off, but I'm like, hey, I'm here, but hey, let's have a discussion. This was really good.
the application.
So this is kind of where I'm trying to figure out my summer rhythm, because I really do love this, and so to be able to basically do 4 in 2 weeks,
Sure.
it might give you a little bit, but here's another thing that I want people to realize in my preaching is, yes, I am the pastor. Part of my pastoring and shepherding is teaching, and so I expect you to learn. And then if you got to go back and listen to it, because I'm actually doing something, hoping to give you something that you're actually going to digest and process. I'm not in it for a quick 20-minute, or 30-minute, even 40. Like I'm really wanting to give you some handles and to show you. It's almost like
it's not
reps.
to entertain. Yeah.
It really isn't. And so this is where it really is formation for me. I'm obviously, people can see I put a lot of effort into it. So the whole idea is for you to learn, just as you would go, and it sounds a little bit bad, but if you were going to go to a conference and spend hundreds of dollars, you want to take away something. You want somebody to give you a 15-minute thing and go, oh man, I needed more. Listen, I actually believe that God has given me a gift, which is why I've not only a gift, but He's given me the passion to really study. To truly study. Like I'm working on a series for the fall. I've been working on a series for the fall for 6 months now.
Yeah.
It's called Under Pressure, Crushing Life Rather Than Life Crushing You. And so, again, if you ever wanted to go to a conference around how do I understand what the Bible teaches me, how to deal with the pressures of life and the stress of life, listen, you would pay a lot of money to go because you deal with it. Well, here's the thing. God's given it to you really for free.
Yeah.
And so this is where I want you to come ready to learn, hungry. God's going to show up and teach me something. That's what I believe that my calling is.
Yeah. Yeah, that Under Pressure seems like it fits well into that second, the living.
Well, it's interesting. I didn't mean for this to happen a year ago when I knew all of this was coming. But the sports series and these movies really align well with the series coming up in the fall.
That's
of
awesome.
Pressure and Stress.
Do you think the prep you've been doing for that series has formed your preaching over the last couple weeks?
What series?
Under Pressure.
No, for even the movies I'm doing now. Well, no, let's put it this way. I've read a lot of sports psychologists.
Yeah.
In dealing with pressure.
Yeah.
And then so it helps me understand what it takes to perform at an elite stage. It helps me understand how the USA hockey team, how they were able to compete at such a high level and even deal with the pressure there.
Yeah. Awesome. So let's look at this first movie, Miracle. So for each of these, you gave 4 truths that you pulled out of the movies. For Miracle, the main point was unity is the miracle that leads to victory. You gave us a question to ask, how do you achieve unity? These 4 truths, we find unity in a new identity. We forge the unity through building a whole team. We fight in unity. When we fight in unity, we advance the mission. And then 4th, when we find, forge, and fight in unity, the prayer Jesus prayed comes true. What I want to key in on was that building a team. I love how you broke down the different aspects, the different roles within a church. And in this idea of playmakers, you said the more playmakers you have making plays, the bigger impact you make in the world. Talk more about how we can even, move towards that in a greater way. Because I know that's your heart, I know that's my heart, but sometimes that feels elusive. elusive within a church.
It is. So this is, and that's a great, I mean, it really is a great question to kind of dive into. And I'll just draw our attention back to Romans 12, where we've been given different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. And if our gift is prophesying, prophesy.
Yeah.
And so prophecy in the New Testament isn't the same thing as basically prophecy in the Old Testament, where in some sense God has given you revelation to predict some kind of framework of future events. It's actually to speak into somebody's life, to see something that somebody else may not see.
Yeah.
So if you got the gift of prophecy, like, man, hey, Matt, I really would watch out here. That means that you're in close proximity. So that's part of this idea of community. And that's where I would say playmakers are community-oriented people, is that you are developing community with a body of believers. So that's an element of playmaking. And then another element of playmaking is taking those gifts within that faithfulness in that community and using that gifts to better each other. So prophecy would be, one of them. Then serving. So again, there's various ways to serve the body here.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can serve in the children's ministry, you can serve in our worship ministry, you can serve as a life group leader, you can serve in our student ministry, you can serve senior adults. We got so many other elements, kind of here in our orbit that you can serve. Like, find an area to serve, because here's what I know, like, if we don't get more people serving in our children's ministry, we can't reach more children. So it puts a cap on how many children we can actually serve. So that's part of that serving. Like, so if the fewer like playmakers who serve are, the few are the lesser the impact that we make.
And the relational impact as well.
So you got serving, teaching. So this is part of where if God's given you if he's given you a gift to teaching, like, again, you can use that in a life group. Like, you can teach a Bible study. You can teach maybe if you're not comfortable teaching a Bible study per se, maybe you can teach a grief share. Maybe you can there's so many things, if you have a gift of teaching.
Yeah.
Encourage. Again, it's like, if you have the gift of encouragement, then you're going to go up to the pastors, the leaders. You're going to go up to other people that are making plays, and you're going to encourage them. Hey, man, you're doing a great job. I just wanted you to know that, and that's your playmaking.
Yeah.
Because we need that. Generosity. So, and here's the truth about generosity. Okay, every single person is called to give. We are to give the first fruits of what God has given to us. But there are some people that God has uniquely gifted them to give extravagantly and lavishly. And so that's you. If that's you, do it. If it's administratively and where you're able to administrate and work behind the scenes, you do it. So that's where I'm saying the playmaker, because then it goes back to this image of the body. And Paul even gets more in details about the body in 1 Corinthians 12, where you got the hands, you get the eyes, you get the mouth, you get the ears. So playmakers are all of these different components of what makes a community run. So that's why, that's part of where at the very end, when I talked about the kind of the unity puzzle pieces, like playmakers are, I'm committed to a church. I'm going to commit to a church. And then I'm going to serve that church in some shape, form, or fashion. Yeah. And part of that serving is giving there. I'm going to value we over me. So those are the components that really come together to form playmakers. So the more playmakers a church has, the bigger the play made is. Yeah, I don't know if that made sense, but bigger the play made. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. That's awesome. And jumping to that application, that one of those last slides of unity, you had that question of where are you, and I think we would just want wherever you are, to, if you're not living in unity and fully doing all those things, to just move closer to that way, right? If you recognize, hey, I've been playing solo, just move towards trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in that figuring out, just try to move towards finding your fit in living in just in some way, right? All of the various things that Pastor Josh just said, and then even more, just dipping your toe in, and then just continuing to, within our community, look for and desire for and pray for ways that you can just and then discern ways that you were gifted and ways that you can help contribute.
Like, I'll give you an example. We all know Apple. Mm-hmm. If you've ever seen the movie Steve Jobs, I can promise you Apple hasn't made the impact it has made because solo Steve Jobs. Now, was he a force to be reckoned with? Absolutely. Yeah. But if you watch the movie, he had several basically friends in the garage of his parents' house working on stuff. Yeah. Like, he needed other playmakers. He couldn't do it all by himself.
And they were gifted very differently than him.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a good
example. But they all had their different positions and roles, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's miracle. Let's look at Cinderella Man. The main point for Cinderella Man is the world will beat you down, but God will give you a living hope that will build you up. And the question to ask is, what does living hope look like? These 4 truths that you laid out in the movie: living hope refuses to quit. Living hope reframes the priorities. Living hope spreads like a contagion. And then living hope gives us power to endure. So the question I wanted to look at here was the point around reframing priorities. Actually, I just want to read the principle. You said living hope is deflated when we turn wants into needs, because we become disappointed when we don't get what we want. So how do we help discern the difference between wants and needs, especially as you pointed out in our American culture? That can be sometimes hard.
Well, yeah, I would go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs and go, okay, you need air, you need breath, you need water, and you need some kind of food, and shelter. Mm-hmm. But here, this is where, and pride can play such. Let's just say you have fallen on hard times, and you get kicked out of your apartment. And you have an opportunity. You have 3 options. You can move back into with a family member temporarily. That's shelter. You can move into a homeless shelter, or you can go, well, I want my own apartment. I want my own apartment.
Yeah.
So where there's 2 particular needs that are out there that you can move in with a family member, or you can move into a homeless shelter, a house. Okay, you lost your job, and you can, and unless you get a job that basically makes what you were making, you can't stay in your house. Okay, so you're praying that I need. That's the way you'll pray. I need a job to stay in my house. So that's not a need. Mm-hmm. That's one. I want to stay in my house. Mm-hmm. God actually might be doing something else in your life where He wants you to downsize to actually right size your home. But this is part of where, as Americans, it's really hard because we mistake needs, or we mistake wants for needs. Yeah. And so that's what I mean, so you have to really walk through those things of going, okay, especially, again, you have to understand reprioritizing. Braddock had hit rock bottom, but he never forgot the reprioritization of his needs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's where that's where the quote about milk comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you've seen the movie...
some of us have, some of us have not.
When he's fighting, when he's fighting in this kind of reframed prioritization, there's this constant, kind of memory of where he sees an empty bed because his kids have been shipped off. where he's seen empty milk containers. Like, so in the ring, he's remembering why he's there, to provide a shelter, to provide milk. He's not dreaming about a title. He's not dreaming about people cheering.
Right.
He's actually going back to memory lane, going, I don't want that to ever happen again. That's why I'm not here.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So anything on Cinderella Man you want to draw out for us?
I'm trying to think if there was any other. I mean, I'm so inspired by the virus-like contagion of hope.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kind of show that throughout Scripture.
Yeah.
And then the idea of living hope gives us power to endure. There was another passage I had in there, just didn't have time. I did it on Saturday. I pulled it for the sake of time. But it's Matthew 13, where it talks about the parable of the sower. And only one seed gave fruit. It was the seed that fell on a fertile soil. And so that's where the fertile heart, like the heart that truly receives the death and resurrection of Jesus, that truly receives Jesus as the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And when our hearts are fertile and we have received Jesus as King and as Savior, then we're going to produce fruit and we are going to endure to the very end. So we are going to endure pain, suffering, tribulation. We're going to endure the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches. And so when you look at the living hope gives us power to endure, that's what the gospel gives us. The gospel gives us the power to endure, where our eyes are not set on riches, our eyes are not fixated on the pain and the suffering that we are going through. Our eyes are actually fixated on Jesus, who gave up riches, who endured pain and suffering in order to give us new life, to give us a living hope. And so that's what that's what living hope does. It truly does fuel us to endure to the very end through thick and thin.
So I guess to end, let's look at that living hope meter that you drew us to for the application. So you have this picture of low living hope, where you want to quit. You have a difficult time prioritizing needs. You're pessimistic. No one really wants to be around you because they don't feel encouraged. You feel defeated. But then you add this high living hope meter where you refuse to quit. You have your priorities in line. People love being around you because you're encouraging, and your faith fuels your life. So what encouragement would you give if someone is diagnosing this and realize, man, I'm in this low living hope? Like, where do you even go from here?
Yeah, I will. So I got an email. It says, your sermon today was amazing. I walked to Northland today broken. I had doctor appointments every day last week and was exhausted. The amount of pain I am in every day is starting to be too much. But your picture with the living hope meter, I needed that. I refuse to quit. I can't give up. I have to keep going. I actually heard a song on the radio and want to share. I'm a living, breathing, walking testimony. I'm a living proof of what the Lord has done. May call it crazy, but they can't take away my story because I'm a living, breathing, walking testimony. So it was that was an email that I received based upon this meter, and because I wanted to kind of summarize and go application. I didn't want to kind of leave it as, all right, this is how you watch a movie, but what do you do with it? And I think this meter is a really good indication of going, where am I if I'm really going through a very tough time? Because I do know that there are people that want to quit. They want to quit on a marriage. They want to kind of just throw in the towel. Man, I'm just going to be this way all my life and just don't care. And then, so I think that this meter probably did more than what maybe maybe did more than what I thought it would, but but seeing that email, I'm like, man, I think it gave some people some handles of where they were, and then to go, man, you want to live full, you want to have a living hope that is full, refuse to quit.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think, and it's not even like I think. I mean, why these movies, particularly like Cinderella, mean so much to me is because I've been there. I mean, I really have. I've been where I didn't have a job, where I was in ministry, and because of toxic churches, and sometimes my dark side of living out the flesh gets the best of me. This is where a toxic church and a young pastor sometimes doesn't mix very well, and so I've sat in these kind of dark seasons where I'm like, all I wanted to do was serve you, Lord. All I wanted to do is lead people to know you more, to lead people to be mobilized for the advancement of your mission in the world. And here I am. I'm jobless. I got to take care of my family, and here my wife, she's going to work every day to try to put food on the table, but I refuse to quit. I refuse, and it's not about but it's what God deposited in me. This is what we see even with Paul in 2 Corinthians, is that he had gone through so much, but he refuses to quit because he says, God's grace is sufficient for me, for in my weakness, he is strong. And so this is where I refuse to quit. And then my priorities are in line. Listen, I'm going to decrease, you're going to increase. So I'm keep my eyes on the prize. I'm moving heavenward, moving more into the image of Jesus. You will supply all of my needs according to your riches and glory. I'm not going to get bitter. I'm going to get better. I'm not going to get bitter. I'm going to get better. And then my faith in the living, resurrected Jesus, that's what fuels my life. I'm telling you, I really am a living, breathing, walking testimony according to that song. And that's why I love this, I love this movie, which why I love Rocky, is because it is about perseverance. And so that's what I take away from this.
All right, everybody. So you have your marching orders. Go watch Cinderella Man, those that have not watched it yet. And Miracle. I'll see if I can find some time this week to watch it.
It was an hour and 40-something minutes.
There you go.
There you go. Well, hey, Northland family and friends. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Extra Takes. Until next week, blessings.
Thanks for listening to Extra Takes. Be sure to follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you won't miss a single episode.